When it comes to gearing components, things can get complicated very easily if it's a dual clutch transmission. But Tata Motors seem to have an answer for that with their new dual clutch automatic transmission. They say it's not only less complicated but also India friendly. Let's find out. So the people subscribed to the channel would be aware that I had previously done a full review for the Tata Altroz, and if you want to check out a much more detailed aspect of the car's platform, the exterior, interiors and other features and everything, you have to check out that video, because this video is only going to focus on this new DCA gearbox. So like any dual clutch transmission, this also conventionally uses a dual clutch setup, and one clutch is operating the odd gears, the another clutch is for the even gears. Another definition or another raw form to put it is these are basically fundamentally two manual gearboxes packaged into one. That can also be another definition of a dual clutch transmission. However, what's different in the DCA, the Tata Motors new gearbox, is that it uses a good amount of new age tech, and I believe the supplier for this gearbox is a Belgian based company. It's called Punch Powertrains, and they have supplied this gearbox, and the actual code for this gearbox, if I remember correctly, is DT1. The highlight of this gearbox is its compactness, packaging and the affordability. The driving experience is overall seamless and jerk-free. I would say the only downer is that engine up front, which is a non-turbo engine. I know a lot of enthusiasts would be having a question that why Tata Motors chose the Revotron engine and not the 1.2 liter turbo. Well, the answer to that, I was reading an interview of one of the heads in Tata Motors. He answered by saying 85% of the sales are of the non-turbo petrol engine of the entire Altroz lineup. So if people are buying the non-turbo, so they just chose to select this new age automatic DCT, which Tata terms as DCA, with this old school non-turbo naturally aspirated 1.2 liter 3-cylinder engine. Another reason for the driving experience to be smooth is thanks to the shift by wire technology which is used in this DCA gearbox. At the same time, as I said, it's a tech-laden gearbox. This particular gearbox supposedly gets machine learning, and with this technology it optimizes the transmission's driving behavior. Will it be India friendly? Well, the answer to that, we are in a traffic situation right now, and heat and dust, these are two things which are, which define a, populated, crowded Indian city with a lot of honks. So Tata Motors seem to have an answer for that as well, because if the gearbox heats up in traffic situations or scenarios, this gearbox uses a wet clutch technology, and the car's machine learning abilities as well as the computer systems identify that, and at that same instant they release the oil into the gearbox to cool it down. And for heat and debris and overall dusty conditions, if the car detects and the gearbox detects those dust particles or debris inside the transmission, it has so-called vibration based technology, sort of decreasing the need for active maintenance for this gearbox. So I was going through the brochure and I found out that Tata Motors claim that this gearbox has 35% less components. For example, this gearbox uses only one lay shaft compared to 2 to 3 lace shafts which the conventional DCTs use. So lesser moving parts is always a great thing. And I think it might turn out to be a fairly reliable gearbox for the long term. So this next segment we are going to discuss the SWOT analysis, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats of this particular variant. And starting off with the strengths. The Altroz remains a very handsome looking hatchback, both exteriors and interiors, and that remains a strength for the Altroz. Point number two is space. So the people buying Tata cars have a preconceived notion of sorts that the Tata cars are spacious, and the Altroz is a spacious hatchback. Not only that, it has those signature 90 degrees opening doors, which again give you that sense of invitation to sit inside the car, and it is sort of a signature style for the Altroz, and that with the space remains a strength for the Altroz. Safety. So with the global NCAP 5-star rating, the Altroz remains a extremely safe car at this price point for an under 10 lakh car. So that remains and continues to be a strength for the Altroz with this variant as well. Pricing. The prices revealed last week gave us an indication that Tata Motors is serious to sell this car, and kind of makes it the most affordable DCT gearbox in India. I'm not really sure. You tell me if that fact is right or not. Coming to the weaknesses, right off the bat, we have to blame that engine for being non-enthusiastic, and this 1.2 liter non-turbo 3-cylinder engine is a downer paired to a fast, good performing gearbox. So this combination is a weakness for this variant. So I would have hoped Tata Motors would have given and paired this gearbox to the turbo engine which they already have in their variant lineup. I know this is a non-enthusiastic engine, but still automatic, and in this day and age the top model should have had paddle shifters, so I see that as a weakness. Last point in the weaknesses is no sunroof. I don't really dig sunroofs, but the Indian audiences do, and I feel this is a missed opportunity where Tata Motors could have differentiated this automatic variant by giving it a proper sunroof. So one single opportunity is gain back the lost sales. A lot of consumers and friends I interacted with and recommended the Altroz back when I reviewed the Altroz, people wanted an automatic, and now the variant lineup has an automatic. So this is a great opportunity to tap those customer base which never got converted, eventually never did buy an Altroz because of a lack of automatic gearbox. So this is an opportunity for Tata Motors to gain back the lost sales. Coming to the threats, as an enthusiast or the overall enthusiast market and the mindset, people would probably, those enthusiasts would stretch their budget and opt for an i20 N-line because that's also a DCT. A more powerful 1 liter turbo has been paired with that DCT with good exterior N-line treatment. So I think that is sort of a threat for the Altroz. Other than that threat number 2 is an internal threat, which is in the future I see Tata Motors giving the Punch this DCA gearbox, and for those customers who would want SUV-ness or maybe that high ground clearance experience or a more practical car ownership experience, I believe the Punch, the future Punch DCA might be an internal threat for the Altroz DCA. With the introduction of an automatic gearbox, Tata Motors have clearly spruced up the entire Altroz lineup. Other than the non-turbo, underwhelming engine up front, I really don't have much critical feedback for this variant, especially at this price point, what Tata Motors have launched the Altroz DCA at. And on that note, thank you for watching.